Hey, what's good? I'm Tristan. You're watching Precision Rifle Reviews, and today we're taking a look at a very eagerly awaited rifle scope. So often a question is asked, should I buy a first focal plane rifle scope or should I buy a second focal plane rifle scope? Quite often both applications are going to have their advantage, and that's where this little scope really comes into its own. This is the first dual reticle, so it has a reticle on the first and second focal plane. So if you don't know the difference between first and second focal plane rifle scopes, I would encourage you to maybe pause this video, go back and find our other video that I have done where we explain more in depth the differences between first and second focal plane. In a nutshell, let's just cover it quickly for the sake of this video. Both of them have distinct advantages. The biggest thing for first focal plane rifle scopes that people like the most, particularly in a hunting application or in a tactical application, that if you think of a reticle, let's just, for the sake of this conversation, it's a Christmas tree reticle. On a first focal plane rifle scope, no matter what power curve, no matter what magnification you're on, those subtensions of all the little information of the Christmas tree reticle will be true milliradians. If you hold 1 milliradian or 5 milliradians, they will be true 5 milliradians. On a second focal plane rifle scope, typically they will only be true milliradians on a certain power range, and usually that is, if it's a 25 power rifle scope, it will usually be up at 25 power and then halfway as well. So 25 power, the milliradians or the subtensions are all true values, and then halfway back down they will also be true values. So that's the difference between first and second focal plane. Other people will say no, they really like a second focal plane rifle scope, and the advantage to it is that the reticle never changes size. As you zoom in and out, you just have one solid image which is going with you, so that reticle doesn't change. Now this rifle scope uses the best of both worlds, so it's a brilliant hunting application scope. Effectively, if you think of the crosshairs, the main body line and the center dot is in the second focal plane, so that will never change value or never change its size. It will make for an extremely quick target acquisition, and if you stick around to the end of the video, you actually do get to see through the scope, because even though it is extremely hard to do, I do get the camera through the scope so you can see the reticle and see what it's like. Then as you dial on your magnification, that Christmas tree reticle will then come into view as you come up in the magnification, and they're true values. So it's, like I say, it's quite literally the best of both worlds. Now let's get the camera off me, because you don't want to look at that and look at the rifle scope and some of its features. As we've already mentioned, this is a 1 to 10 power magnification with a 24mm objective lens, so very short, stout scope. That's probably the most notable thing with it, and it is a very unique looking scope because it's so short. This is only 214mm long. It's extremely light at 505 grams, and the way that it is designed to do is that you can run 2 scope rings on one section of the optic. Later I will show you how compact that actually is. Here on the left hand side, this rifle scope does have the illumination option. It's a great feature. On this scope it's just on and off with 6 presets. So you pick your preset 1 through 6 and then simply on and off. It does have a side focus, and it can focus down to in as close as 10 meters. So the fact that this scope can focus as close as 10 meters, or it's actually listed as yards, but given the fact that it can focus so closely all the way to infinity, leaves a lot of scopes in its wake. Onto the 2 turrets. They are exposed tactical turrets. They're not capped or anything like that. Now you have 0.1 milliradians per click with 10 milliradians per revolution. And these are extremely tactile, very, very crisp and clear, amongst the best in the industry clicks. On the top, you do have a zero stop, and this is, in my opinion, one of the features that I would personally buy a March scope just for the zero stop. The way that this works is you just physically grab a flat blade or a coin or a piece of brass, turn that 3 times and the zero stop is on, turn it back and it's off. That's all there is to it. So if you're looking at the zero stop of other scopes and you're going down into the deeps of the scope into the inner workings of it to get that to happen, you're getting ripped off. The windage on the left hand side, huge amount of windage and a huge amount of elevation. 56 milliradians of elevation and windage is available on this scope. Again, extremely tactile and clear, crisp clicks for the windage. It has a 30 millimeter scope tube body, and as I mentioned, because the 24 millimeter objective lens is so close and so compact up the front, you can run 2 rings on this center section, and it makes it very, very stout and compact on your rifle. To slip your cap, you do have an included little Allen key. It will come factory equipped with travel covers, which you don't really use again, so they're sort of, really stand for nothing. Then you just open that one. You've got a 2-stage lens cap, so that's the first stage, and then that clips down. You can see how positive and lockout that is. It actually sits below the turret, so if you're looking over the rifle scope and it's on the gun, you're going to have really good target acquisition. Again, the wide view angle eyepiece has a scope cap as well. As you can see, both scope caps have this lovely sort of embossed March logo. And again, stage 1, if you just want a quick shot, lock it out, and you can see just how flush that sits. Not many scopes do that. A lot of them you'll find are sitting there flapping around in the breeze as you're taking your shot. Not with these, totally locked out. So let's just get those off while we run our review. 30 millimeter scope tube body. The power range 1 being here. And as I dial that up, this is just, when I say no movement, I'm moving that with all of my force, and there is just not 1/1000th of a millimeter of play in any of these dials. It is just so positively, wow, fantastic, just absolutely brilliant. Now, if for the people that wear eyeglasses, you have a quick focus here, so you just back this locking ring off, which is currently on. So I just turn this to get your from -2 to +2. That's how quick it is from 1 to 1. So you're almost doing it in, well, it's less than 1 turn. And then the locking ring comes, say you wanted to set it to here. The lock, so it was there. Locking ring comes back, and you tighten that out, and you're done. So very, very stout. Just 214 millimeters long, and go and measure that. This is one of the most compact rifle scopes that's really available before you go to like a holographic site. Just 505 grams, and like I say, 56 mil of available elevation, which is huge for hunting, all those sorts of applications. Now, what do you get? We've already gone through the 2 scope caps that we get. They're really, really cool lockout scope caps. You do get that little nifty tool for making any adjustments to your scope cap. A March Scope's embossed microfiber cloth. Lovely Velcro high, very thick, you know, sort of March scopes patch you can put on all your gear. Now I do really like their owner's manuals. As you can see here, their owner's manuals are extremely detailed. This is exact photographs of your rifle scope, and it will show you all of the values of your scope, of your reticle, should I say. It explains everything in very clear, very good detail. You'll naturally get the warranty descriptions, a request for repair should you ever need to send your rifle scope back. That's all in the box, and you do get an overview. Now guys, just get ready to pause or focus on this and pause on it if you want to go through any of the scopes, you know, sort of specifications, because it's all there. The other thing that I would like to quickly point out before I get this on and show you how compact it could be, and then we're going to get the camera in the scope trying to make it as quick as possible, is that there's no door at the bottom of this scope. March scopes are a handmade item. This is a little bit like buying a Bugatti Veyron. You don't just go down to any dealer and pick up a March scope like you would like any particular vehicle. A Bugatti Veyron has very few dealers. They're very unique, very high quality, and that's exactly what you're dealing with here. This is handmade by an optical engineer. 2 years ago, Dion, the parent company, March Scopes, doubled their workforce from 6 to 12 as I do a little spin around. They have, like I say, a 10-year warranty, but we don't really get warranty complaints come back on them. A lot of the videos that independent review people have done themselves, they all say, well, they're 10 years warranty, but we're not too sure exactly how they work, purely because not a lot come back. 2 seconds while I just grab one other thing that does come with the scope, because it's really important, sorry about that, to leave you hanging. It does come with March Scope's fast throw power lever. Now this is really good if you're hunting. It's just a lever, or a lever should we call it, however you want to pronounce it. I'm going to show you how quickly and easy it gets onto the scope. Just like that, clips on. And this is a little lever to help you dial on magnification a little bit faster. This is a plastic item. March Scopes is so happy and, you know, proud to be able to boast that this is the only plastic item within the entire package, and it's plastic for a reason. I see too often manufacturers make scopes that have a big bolt-on power ring lever, and basically it's like a wrench. If you bang or drop or hit that wrench, if it's bolted to your scope, you are going to damage it. So if you think that you've been given a favor by having a big wrench hanging off the side of your scope ready for it, or something that screws into it ready to damage your item, you're poorly misled. This is designed to be this way for a purpose, that if it does get bumped, this is the weak component. Now let's get this onto a gun so you can quickly see how compact it is before I show you through it. Okay, we said this thing is compact, and compact it is. It's actually all set up with my eye relief on my hunting gun. The objective lens finishes before the receiver. Not only is the scope, as you can see, extremely compact this way, I think it must be one of the shortest scopes I've ever seen. Not only is it very compact this way, but it's also the 24mm objective lens. It's very compact this way. You're going to be very low on your rifle. There's absolutely no movement or anything there. It's fantastic. Now I can't get this out and go and shoot with it as I would really love to do, and just totally play with it hard. This item is for sale. It's a stock item. Full disclaimer, we are a March Scopes dealer. If you have any questions related to a March Scope, let it be this one or any other product in the March Scopes lineup, feel free to send me an email. I'm going to hyperlink and put my information, my own email address below. Come join the March Scopes family, and you know, if you have any questions, you can feel free to send it over to us. So just very easy there. That's set up, like I say, for my eye relief. One power, If I go down to 1 power, 2 eyes open, the vision as you come through, it's literally, I can see through the room here and through the room here, and everything that I can see through the middle is exactly the same. You don't get vision from the left hand side and then tunneled vision, because it's a true 1 power. This is extremely fast acquisition. Just a really nice scope. Now let's get the camera into the back of the lens, because I don't want this video to go too long. Already it will, but it's an in-depth video, and if you're buying an item of this quality, you probably should be looking at some close-up videos. Just quickly, what does it look like from the other side? If we spin the camera, that's what it will look like from the other side. Front on. Just really nice, really nice thing. Okay, you deserve to see the reticle if you've made it this far. Now, the first thing I want to point out is that the center red dot is flashing at the moment on the screen. If you use this scope, that center red dot will never ever flash. It's only flashing because of the refresh rate of the camera. So be in the know that it's never ever going to flash. The white bucket around 500-600 mils is at 50 meters, and the 750-ish millimeter black tub is at 100 meters. So we're currently sitting somewhere in the middle at 75-ish meters, and we're on 1 power with the illumination on. Now, the first thing I want to draw your attention to is the 3 thick black lines coming from left and right and the bottom. They are designed to, and they quite clearly do, draw your eye to the center of the reticle. Being thick and then progressively getting small, even at 1 power here, at 100 meters, you could easily use this rifle scope for anything. Shooting anything out there, you could easily do it. The second focal plane section of this scope is that black line and the center dot, and as I dial on magnification here, 1 past 2 past 3, at 3 power is the point that you can actually use the reticle because you can see it. 4, and then up to 5. Now this is where I love the scope. I think it's at its best at 5 power. 5 power, you can use all of the subtensions on the rifle scope, or all of those mil markings, and you've got very wide field of view. The center dot and everything is not too big. Everything is perfect. Now we're going to go through 6, 7, 8 onto 10 power. 10 power, the camera is currently trying to focus on 3 or 4 different things. It's trying to focus on the black tub, the white tub, the 75 meters in the middle, and the reticle. The camera's having a really hard time, and it looks like a really crappy image. However, the idea of this is not to show you how good the image is, because that's impossible for me to do. It's absolutely brilliant. What I'm trying to show you is what you would actually get the view of. Just like I say, know that your image quality is going to be about 20 trillion times better than what you're currently seeing. Okay, so we're at 10 power. Now what I want to do is just go up and down the power curve a few times so you can see what comes in and out of focus with the first and second focal planes. It's 1 power there, all the way past 10 power. I'm just going to do that a few times so you can see that even at 1 power, it's very usable. If you were hunting, which is really, I suppose, what this is for, at a hunting level or something like that, you've got very good usable field of view. Your eye is drawn to the center of the target. It's going to be extremely quick acquisition. And then up to 10 power, if you were then dialing some elevation, you're going to be able to get a very accurate shot with that first focal plane Christmas tree reticle in there. And back to 5 power there as a bird wanders into frame. Fantastic view of at 5 power as well. Back down to 1 power. I'm going to turn that reticle off and then just do it again so you've got a view without the center dot flashing. There, back up to 10 power, and I'm going to turn the reticle back on. Again, it won't be flashing when you see it. And then back down. Thanks for watching, guys. That's going to wrap up the review of the 1 to 10 dual focal plane rifle scope from March Scopes. As I've previously mentioned, we are a dealer. If you'd like any information on this or any other of the March Scopes products, we are a sub-dealer and happy to help you in any way, shape or form.